Welcome to the January edition of Curriculum Connection. I'm Medford's Curriculum Director, Laura Lundy. Tonight we will focus on the pre-engineering coursework being offered at our high school called Project Lead the Way. Do you remember when the word web meant a spider's home? Or when you wanted to surf you had to live near the ocean? Now you can surf on the web anywhere you have an internet connection. Words and their meanings are continually changing. Another term that has changed over time is the word engineer. Many people think an engineer is the person who drives a train, but Medford High School students who are taking the new Introduction to Engineering class realize that today's engineers are likely designing the train instead of driving it. Junior Cole Quednow explains the new class.
The class is basically an engineering course that any student that's interested. Right now we're assembling trains with a program, Inventor Pro, which shows how everything goes together and how every step is really important.
According to the engineers on the Project Lead the Way committee, job duties for engineers range from organizing and planning to designing and producing.
In our facility, we have a lot of research and development to start with, from the engineering group. So if there's a new project, they will actually look into it and see what is actually needed. If it's just from the design aspect, or if it's actually from kind of coordinate all the way through industrial engineering and manufacturing engineering.
I would say in general, what I think an engineer does is solve problems. I mean, whether it's product or process, in manufacturing, industrial, or product design. I mean, basically it's problem solving.
Facility, the engineers are not only responsible for doing the drawings of the product, designing the product, but a lot of times we're responsible for making sure that everyone else is on board with where the design is and making sure everyone else is doing their work at the same time to coordinate when we can release the product, when everything's going to be ready for testing.
Project Lead the Way teachers John DeBruni and Joseph Gasser say that the first class, Introduction to Engineering, is more about using the software to design projects, but there are a few actual real products that they make in the class.
They will draw each one of the components and dimension it on the program. Using the program, it will be assembled together so that you will see the entire project fit together on paper, and then in this instance they actually make a prototype of the product. They are also to design a package to contain it.
Strong communication skills is also a big part of being an engineer, which is why in the Project Lead the Way classes, students must keep a very detailed notebook.
For the entire year is to keep a engineering notebook, which each project that they do goes through. The first step is to define a problem. Once they know the problem, then they can work on a solution. After the definition, then they go into brainstorming, come up with different ideas. From the brainstorming, they research to try and find more possible solutions. On top of the research, then they go into the constraints. What are the limits and what are the rules that we have to follow for each project? Explore the possibilities. This is an extension of the brainstorming. You select an approach, where they actually take and find one of the brainstorming ideas or one of the possibilities and go with it from there until completion.
The work in this introductory course is challenging, but Mr. DeBruni believes that the students in the course have been meeting that challenge.
Quite well. Actually, we have a large portion of our students that are doing very well, and putting in some additional time, and we see them regularly throughout the day.
The students I talked to seem to enjoy the class.
Something different, and I guess it's kind of like what I want to do too, being an engineer, so it's really interesting.
Like the hands-on, kind of like how you get to make it yourself.
Work at your own pace too, which is nice, and you get to build stuff like that.
Implementation of the Project Lead the Way curriculum into our schools is a multi-year process. Next year, we plan to offer 2 more courses at the high school, Principles of Engineering and Biotechnical Engineering. And if the grant goes through, we also plan to offer the Project Lead the Way curriculum in our middle school. Mr. Gasser says the next course involves more hands-on problem solving.
The main project that they do in there is a marble sorter, where they use digital eyes and electric eyes to measure the amount of light that's coming through marbles, and then they sort them based on color automatically.
The engineers on the committee, who are all Medford graduates, are excited about the addition of engineering in the Medford schools.
I remember not even knowing what an engineer was, and I know when I was in chemistry class in Larry Hansen's class, I saw a little copy up on the wall, and it basically said, you know, that what the need was for engineers, and basically if you like math, then maybe you should think about being one. So I thought, oh, maybe I should do that. But I didn't really know until I went to college what really that was all about. So I think that this program would be a great thing as far as getting kids introduced, just so they know what it's about, and give them just an idea or taste of what engineering is, and to see if that's something they'd like to do.
I guess when I was in high school, I would have loved to have some type of pre-engineering course to go through. I've known since I was young that it was something I liked to do. I don't know whether it was playing Legos when I started, when I was 5. I've always liked to build and design things. So a program like this would have been really useful for me in high school, and I think you learn that engineering is not just about design, but there's a whole bunch of other things that go along with it.
And from my aspect, it's tough to figure out what you want to be when you grow up. I mean, when you're a freshman and a sophomore, you've got to start picking all the classes, to determine, okay, what do I need for college? It's great to have an idea of what you're getting into. So often, a kid's going to pick a course and they're going to start going that way, and it is nothing at all what they're expecting. So I think this will be a great way, for people to see just, how valuable that type of degree is. And it's not just for guys, it's for gals as well.
It is hard to predict the future. However, Medford High School students who are in the Project Lead the Way courses are on their way to learning the skills they need to engineer the next best gadget. For Curriculum Connection, I'm Laura Lundy.